everybody, welcome back to our Burning Wheel campaign. Um, I'm Vallejo. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be your GM for this game. Uh, does everybody want to go ahead and introduce themselves just briefly once again?
I'm Freddie May. I use they, them pronouns. I will be playing Delphina of Agricola.
I'm Benjamin. I'm going to be playing Alkeos Gataki. I use he, him. So does Alkeos.
And I'm Mary Kate Mead. I use she, her, and I'm playing Natalia Tortolin.
All right. Why don't we go over goals real quick before we start the session? Just read through them. And yeah, go ahead.
So after last session where I saw Natalia speak at the council meeting, I really would like to meet her and maybe find an ally in her. But I am probably going to need to disguise and or deceit myself to get to her because she is fancy and I am not fancy. I also I want to investigate someone, a businessman from my village that I think maybe has kidnapped or killed someone. I want to investigate him, and before that, I want to make sure I prepare some poison just in case.
All right.
I don't know if I can do it all today, but those are my ideas.
At least one or two. I think you'll be able to get two of them done.
Well, Natalia's goals, first off, now that she was able to help get a majority vote passed, she knows how these councilmen work, and usually they will strike a deal that works best for them, that doesn't always help the people that they say they're going to. So she's going to make sure that in the private meetings where they can get away with things, to mitigate that as much as possible, to make sure that they keep their word on those promises. My second goal is that I have heard whispers that a noble in court is trying to raise taxes for the academy that I went to when I was younger. They spent most of their money on the rebellion effort to get rid of the old god. And I know there's no way they can pay for it, so I need to do whatever it takes to stop the tax collector from trying to take away the academy. And then lastly, since nobility took power, I've been having weird power surges of magic from an unexplained source. So I need to look into similar instances in history to see if this could have possibly happened before, to figure out where this is stemming from.
All right.
So Alkeos, in the last episode, he discovered some Aquinus technology that he's calling geocomms, and he is hoping that he will be able to track down the other elements of geocom design. And then his second goal is that because knowledge belongs to us all, I will convince the Guild of Carpenters to share their building techniques with those who need to rebuild.
And I want to point out the caption or Reddit is geocom, like communications, but it's actually calm, like calm down.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. All right. So with that out of the way, I think we can go ahead and get started with some of the RP. Who wants to go first? Maybe Delphina, since you have a goal to meet with Natalia, maybe that will kind of feed into some of the other RP.
Sounds good. Yeah, before I leave my house, I'm just gonna make some poison because if I'm going to, going to the city, going to talk to nobles, you never know. You never know when you need poison.
Okay.
So I believe
So
that I assume that is a poisons roll. And I'm gonna go for a difficult or challenging one, I think, because I would like to make like a colorless, odorless poison.
okay,
Wow.
let's see.
Why not? Why not fucking go for it? So I have poisons, and then I can add.
Let
Obviously,
me
oh
look
my
up the skill first real quick because that'll help
God. Okay,
determine
I will count
what
up
the
my forks.
okay.
All right, I've got poisons. I've
Okay.
got herbalism for sure. I've got apothecary. Does cooking count?
Depends on the ingredients. If you give me a flavor reason for why cooking counts, I'll let you use cooking.
um,
I'd say in most cases it probably does. I imagine there's
yeah, I
probably
mean,
some
I
amount of
imagine I
like
have to,
heating.
heat things up and mix them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I'll let you use cooking.
Sweet. And then I can, I believe I can add a die for geometric because that utilizes
Yes,
measurements. And I can
absolutely.
also call on keen taste.
Yes. If when you make the roll, you can use your call on to reroll all the failed dice
Gotcha.
potentially.
Okay, so then that's 5 dice, and then I have the call on if I need it for however that works.
All right. Let's see.
And astrology,
Uh,
I guess.
yeah, and your poisons itself is 5.
Yes.
Oh,
so does that mean it's 5 dice plus?
It's 5 dice plus all of the forks. Yes.
Okay, so 4, 5, so 10 dice.
Yeah.
I'll roll one of them separately for
So
astrology.
so where Alkeos is really good at like getting information, you're really good at killing people with poison.
Yeah. I mean, I put a lot of points into that for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I roll?
so the obstacle for this, just for making a deadly poison is obstacle 4, actually.
Sweet.
But
I want to make a really good one.
Yes. So like a obstacle 4, the equivalent of that is that it deals like a B10 wound, which will outright kill most people.
Right.
The
Well, I don't mean
thing that
necessarily
you want,
deadlier, but that I want it to be like really, really impossible to detect. So that would be a higher challenge.
yeah. I think having it be like colorless and odorless, that's at least like +2 to the obstacle.
Okay.
For a total of like obstacle 6. We can call it obstacle 7 just to like make it particularly hard to detect.
Just for fun. Cool. I'm in. All right, I'm gonna roll my astrology die, and then the rest of my dice.
Okay.
Okay. I got 2 on
Uh,
astrology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
and I think
successes.
on if you fail, you still make the poison, but it's easier to detect than you were anticipating.
Okay. Can I call on my keen taste to re-roll dice? Is that how that works?
You can also you can click the D6 next to the skill name. If you click like just so, where you click on one of the pips.
Oh yeah, and you do the modifiers.
Yeah, and then you can do the modifiers that way.
Okay.
So you have. Oh, and you also have. No, you didn't. You didn't pick up practical magic. That's right.
No, I didn't.
You opted against magic. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Just good at science.
yes, you can use your call on to reroll 4 of those dice. So that's 1,
Cool.
2,
I'm
3,
like,
4,
this doesn't taste
5.
right. Let me try again.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. That is plenty of successes. So that's 9 successes.
yes. Dope. All right. I got
So you
I got a flask of poison in my secret inside pocket.
yeah, what do you call this poison that you make?
Mother's milk.
Okay. All right. Just make a note of it in your inventory and note that it's +2 obstacle to detect.
Nice.
All right. And I think in this case, it's also hard to like determine the cause of death.
Ooh, nice.
So like I forget the name of the poison, but it's like it just looks like somebody has a heart attack rather than
Yeah. I know what you're talking
uh,
about, even though I also don't remember the name.
yes. Uh, so I definitely think that I definitely think it's like that. So okay, you've got your poison. your do you have a special way of storing it on your person to like
Um,
keep it hidden or
yeah, like I have like a inside like sewn pocket in my shirt or jacket. That's so it's not like the most secret. It's just, you know, private little
yeah.
pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess I would um I don't think I actually have like nice clothes. So either I need to like track down some nice clothes or I need to get I can like pose as a servant or something.
Did you
Oh, I have a disguise toolkit.
yes you do. Did you not get finery?
No, I did. I ran out of money.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Um,
Do I have to expend my poisons tool? I don't know how like getting rid of things works.
oh, it's expendable tools. Roll a d6.
Ooh, okay. I need to order just a big bag of D6 for this game. 2.
All right. You do not exhaust your poisoner's tools. It's if you roll a 1, then you exhaust your tools.
Okay, cool. Seems legit.
Like something breaks or you run out of some
Run out of
ingredient or
ingredients.
something. Yeah. And then you just have to replace it. And it's not that big of a deal. It's just that you can't necessarily use those tools until you.
Yeah.
You could make poisons, but it would be harder because you're doing it without tools. Okay. So you are going to meet Natalia.
Yes.
You need
I'm going to, I think, disguise myself as like a servant to get into her estate.
Okay. Since you're using a disguise kit, I don't think you need to have finery or anything like that. I think this would be like just a very common disguise that you would have anyway. Like
Yeah.
this is one of your main shticks. So in this case, we'll have you. Is there? Yeah, there. Disguise is a B2. So let's see what the obstacle for that would be real quick.
Just at the chat. No, I think I definitely tossed my cat. I feel that that's fair to say. She was not accepting gentle nudges.
I was not paying attention when you tossed your cat, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
Apparently, they're trying to count how many times I do that. Sorry, Lucy.
A cat toss counter.
That's... Also, I've decided that she plays my my pet seal cat because I want to.
Okay.
She just hangs out.
So I think there's nothing immediately that like says disguise as a servant. I think it's probably obstacle 2 though.
Okay. I'm gonna fork a straw. Oh, go ahead.
And did you mark your advancement for poisons?
No, not yet. I was gonna do that when it was someone else's turn and I had time to do math.
Okay. Well, it was 9 versus obstacle 7, so it's going to be difficult.
Wasn't it 10 because of the astrology die? Don't you count that? Or no?
It
doesn't.
So 10 dice. Okay. It was routine, so you don't get to put a point in this time.
Oh, dang. Do I fill in routine though?
No, because it says 0 for routine. Once exponent is 5 or higher, you no longer get to count routine tests for advancement.
Noted. Okay. Man, I gotta get some harder poisons to make. I was trying to get it to be really high challenge. All right.
Yeah, well, we got it there, but it was you just were so specialized. Next
That's
time,
too
just
good.
like leave out. You have to leave out some of your forks to kind of manipulate the difficulty to get the checks that you want.
Noted. Okay, for disguise, can I fork local history for like knowing what a household servants are dressed in, etc.?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just do that in astrology because I don't think I can make a good argument for anything else.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so 4 dice against obstacle 2. So go ahead and roll your. Oh, was that the astrology dice?
Oh.
So okay, so when you include it as a modifier, it doesn't actually tell you which one is the astrology die. In this case, it doesn't matter because I'm going to consider the first 2 rolls here, 2 and the 6, to be your disguise dice, and then the 4 and the 3, one of the 2 between the 4 and the 3 would be the astrology.
Okay, I'll just say like can we just assume that like the last one will be the astrology die?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Great.
And the only time that it really does anything special is on a 1 or a 6.
Yeah. That's a success, right?
Yes, it is. So you successfully dress yourself up as a servant.
And I do get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go meet a fancy lady.
Yeah, and you don't need to roll anything to infiltrate anything. Your disguise is spot on. You just kind of walk in.
When I want to like sneak in through the back entrance, and then like whatever's like cooking in the kitchen, I like taste it, and I like add some spices to make it better.
Okay,
I'm like,
you do.
needs
It's
more
it,
cayenne.
yeah. Oh, everything needs more cayenne
So true.
or chipotle, one of the two. I like spicy stuff. But yeah, you season the stuff, and it ends up being a lot better than normal. You just randomly, there you go. Uh, so you sneak in through this back entrance, through the kitchen, and through some of the winding corridors, and make your way to. And I think, Natalia, don't you still live with both of your parents? I think we established that last session.
Yes, I do. Uh, it's interesting.
I will try
Yeah.
to have to try to find what I think might be her room.
Yeah. So you're definitely not worried about getting caught,
Yeah.
like with your disguise here, because you succeeded to disguise. But I think now the stakes are like you have to find her room before like
Another
finding
member of
her
the
parents'
staff
room.
notices me. Oh, or that. Yeah.
Like maybe at some point you like in the process of looking for her room, instead of finding her room, you find like her dad's study or something like that, and he's in there.
Right.
So let's see, what skill would you use for this?
Mm, walking around and not getting lost. I have no idea.
Um,
I don't think it's a skill I have, whatever it is.
um, oh, you don't have noble wise.
No.
That's Natalia who has noble wise. Um, I think even though like there's no risk of you getting caught by another servant, I think you still can use inconspicuous here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I feel like the whoever is like a noble who's in the house, like I feel like it would be risky if like some of the more like high like staff who are in charge saw me, because they would like know who everyone is. The like head butler was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And toss her that time. Just gently move. Okay, so I'll do inconspicuous, and then I don't think I have anything else for that. I guess I will fork astrology for always, and hope
Okay,
that
I
the
think it's
stars
just
are
gonna be
aligned for
obstacle
me.
2. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be obstacle 2. I don't think it's difficult. I think
Okay.
it's is just finding the right door. Yeah,
Oh, I
absolutely.
got a 6 on my astrology die.
You did.
What
So
happens?
technically it explodes, so you can roll it again. Uh, doesn't necessarily matter for this
Yeah.
instance, but rolling lots of dice is fun. So yeah, you
Okay.
end up getting 4 successes versus obstacle 2.
Cool.
And yeah, you sort of pay attention to the way the other servants are coordinating, and like just
Mm,
listen in a little bit, and you pick up some context clues, and with your knowledge of how noble estates are usually laid out, you manage to find her room with relative ease. It's
I
just like it's pretty second nature to you. Um,
I just go
though
inside
I
without
think
knocking.
okay. Um, I think there is where we're gonna shift over to Alkeos for a little bit, since after that it's gonna be both Delphina and Natalia at the same time. So let's shift scenes real quickly, and you did mark both your disguise and your inconspicuous. Good. Okay. So Alkeos, you have gotten this fund to research this geocom, as you're calling it.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to start out with this? How do we find Alkeos this day?
Actually, Alkeos is starting his day by heading to the Carpenters Guild.
Okay.
Wants to get the higher ups there to do some community outreach.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. The Carpenters Guild, I think, is a relatively simple looking building, very utilitarian. It's still good looking. It's just not extravagant, like a noble's house. Um, let's see. So let's have you roll circles to determine sort of the conditions under which you find the Carpenters Guild,
Uh,
specifically the higher ups. So, uh, just as a brief refresher and also for the chat, whenever you roll circles, you can add one reputation and one affiliation onto the circles roll. So you do have two affiliations. Is there one that you would like to use?
yes, I would like to use my affiliation with the disaster response teams.
Okay.
Try and convince them, hey, I'm not some random person. I actually am invested in this. I'm helping with this. So
All right. So the obstacle, I think, is going to be. I think it's going to be 2. It's not like too far out of your purview that you would, especially since you're affiliated with the disaster response team. It's not too far out of line that you would reasonably be able to contact these people, especially since you like just got this grant from the council. So there's little like 15 minutes of fame going on with this, maybe.
right. Yeah.
On a failure, I think you still get to meet with them, but there's some sort of complication. So I'm gonna change the tab on your character sheet real quick, just so you
Sure.
know. So the premise of this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there is like a recent Geoshift and some houses and buildings got destroyed, and you're looking to enlist them to help with the
Yeah.
reconstruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or ideally I would get them to share some of their building techniques rather than just
Oh,
doing
right. Yes.
patchwork. But I mean, if that's like the fail forward version where they just help out, I think that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, that'll be for convincing them,
Right.
but for finding the conditions under which you find the Carpenters Guild, I think is going to be either they're totally fine or maybe they're in like some sort of state of disarray, like maybe that uh maybe like even though that was kind of conjecture, maybe there was actually a recent Geoshift, and they're like trying to manage a bunch of contracts that just came through to fix things, in addition to like ongoing projects that they already had.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your circles against obstacle 2.
3 4s. So that sounds like a success.
Yep, you got 3 successes. Go ahead and mark advancement for your circles as well. I think it's just routine in this case. And yeah, so you find them. They definitely have a workload, a good workload happening, going on, but they're not frantic. So let's say you walk in there. There's someone to greet you at a desk. There's just papers all over the desk. You can tell that they're very busy. And you might have to wait just a little bit to speak to, I reckon, the guild masters who you're trying to talk to.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll probably have to wait a little bit to talk to the guild master, but you do end up getting to talk to them immediately. Let's see.
Can Alkeos read any of the paperwork while he's waiting?
Yes, it's mostly contracts to like rebuild things. It's not at any sort of special rate though. They're just using the stock rates.
Okay.
You
Good,
see a
they're not
glance.
price gouging.
Yeah, they're not price gouging, but they're also not really doing anything to help. They're just using their normal prices.
Gotcha.
Let's see, let me open this PDF real quick. All right. All right. So you do get a meeting with the Carpenters Guildmaster. Is this a character that you are potentially interested in creating a relationship with? Like, will you roll circles to find this person a bunch, or are you just doing it for this one instance? What do you think?
Probably this is a singular instance.
Okay. All right, so I'm not gonna worry too much about their personality and whatnot. They are, let's see. She is a human, just an experienced carpenter.
Okay.
And she's sitting behind a desk, kind of just fingers on her temples. As you walk in, she just like corrects herself and sits up and says, yes, how can I help you?
I'm definitely going to resist the temptation to say, I'm going to make your life more difficult. And instead, I will say, it's not me that you can help today. It's the citizens over in this southern district that have suffered a great loss recently.
Yeah, I'm well aware. We're doing what we can so far.
And I was saying that's wonderful and great, and we can all see that. But also, I wonder if there isn't a better way. Perhaps I can convince her to like send an overseer to each job to like really focus the disaster relief team's work instead of just patching things up. Maybe this one overseer, instead of having to do a bunch of work, can go to the team and say, these things will help long term instead of this ramshackle version that's being done.
Okay. In this case, she's actually eager to assist
Great.
the community. She's just not sure that there's a viable way to do that. So, because they're already so, they're not frantic, like I said, but they're getting pretty spread thin.
Yeah.
She mentions that there's already carpenter overseers that are even like not only just overseeing but also doing work themselves. So it
Yeah,
would be a little hard to have them stop work and then go to a new place to oversee. It would be like taking workers away from one spot to give them to another.
for sure.
So she says if there's any solution you can come up with for that,
Well,
then
yeah. What about
I'm willing to implement.
what about if we have a member or a few members of the disaster response team sort of shadow uh, these carpenters and sort of pick up not a full apprenticeship. I know that that's a huge ask, but just anything to help out while we are in this transition from the old order to the new order.
So this is where you're gonna have to make the roll to convince her,
Yeah,
because this is a good idea, but it's definitely going to slow things down in the short term. It might speed them up and have more benefits long term,
yeah,
but um, the people who are without homes right now would be without homes a little longer because there would be people asking questions, and they would have to stop to like demonstrate a technique or something, that sort of thing.
for sure.
Uh, so how would you what skill would you like to use to convince her that this is a good idea that she should follow through with?
Um, hmm. I would like to use probably rhetoric.
Okay,
Convince
let
her.
me see rhetoric real quick.
Are you going to fork seduction?
Yeah, he's going full seductive mode. Do you like books?
Like, do you like my glasses?
Yeah.
Look at the gold leaf on this tome.
Ooh, that is very enticing.
I'll work up an illuminated manuscript for her.
How much time is that going to take? Okay,
It's gonna take a while, but I
enough.
have the talent. It'll be a dating application for me, but it'll be illuminated just for her.
All right. So
Carpentry.
rhetoric, where persuasion is based on rolling against the will of the target, for lack of a better term. There is rhetoric which instead rolls against their perception, which is basically just like, yes, you're explaining these ways. This is obviously something that we should do, but it's whether they're understanding how you're coming across.
Okay.
So let's see. She's the Carpenter's Guild Master, so she's definitely a perceptive person. Let's see. I think she's at least a 4.
Okay.
We'll call her a 5 because she's the Guild Master. So what forks do you want to use here? We have 6 from rhetoric already.
Right.
And if you want to like describe a way that you're explaining it to kind of inch one of these skills in, then I'm completely fine with that.
For sure. I would like to convince her that while we're in this period of transition, people are going to be paying particular attention to who is helping and who's not. You know, look for the helpers, and that so it's in her best interest to recognize that while it will inconvenience some people, that everyone will see that the guild master put the city before the individuals.
The need of the many outweighs the need of the few.
Yeah.
All right.
What am I forking in? I am probably trying to fork in the rule of law. That
I don't know that rule of law applies here because that's specifically like
legal
stating
criminal matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like laws in general, and I'm not sure that like laws apply here.
Okay.
If there's a way that you want to philosophy, I think definitely.
Okay. So I think I'll do philosophy and astrology. And
I'm also gonna point out city-wise.
Okay.
Because this is a project that is involving the city.
Okay. I see if it's obstacle 5. I might just keep it at 7 dice so that I can get a difficult test in.
Okay.
I'm gonna risk it.
All right.
And yeah. So if I succeed, she'll allow shadowed pseudo apprentices.
Yeah, pretty much.
If I fail, they're just going to keep doing the same help that they've been doing, or
If you fail, I think she's willing to. Um, I think she's willing to use your suggestion, but not right now.
Okay,
Mm.
that's fair.
So like it's still a
Like
thing
she'll
that
keep it in mind.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, that's sounds good to me. Should I go ahead and roll?
Yep, go ahead. And make sure that your astrology die is a separate one.
Ooh, it's only 2 successes, so this plan is
Ooh.
going to have to wait for a less busy time.
Ooh. All right. So, yeah, she says, listen, that's all well and good, but could you say the same thing to someone whose home was just rent in half? We have to work as fast as we can to get these people back into their homes.
Yeah,
They need shelter. I will keep it in mind for the future. However, right now is just not a good time to be teaching new people carpentry skills.
yeah. You're definitely right. I would not be able to say that to somebody whose house is split in half. Maybe once there's a gap between disaster relief and the next disaster, we can get this ball rolling.
Yeah, she nods in agreement. Uh, I definitely think this still counts as like a completion of your goal here. It's just not in the way that you expected.
Okay,
So we'll
visit that at the end.
get to that. Yeah, we'll revisit that at the end when we go over all the goals again. All right. So in that case, I think let's shift focus once again to Natalia. Natalia, what are you doing in your room today?
Well, after the
Oh, I really hope you're
meeting,
there.
and especially after uh, her mother's little outburst, she's probably a little upset. And usually, when that happens, she dresses to go out and practice her fighting skills. It's just a way that she's able to let off steam. And normally, that's when she can talk to her father. So she's probably just dressing in different training clothes as
Okay.
Delphine would probably be coming in.
Okay, so you're like strapping into some padding, training clothes, that sort of thing. Nothing like too heavy, I imagine, because
Hmm
it's just
Uh,
training.
enough that like it will mimic the weight of light armor, but not too much that would hinder my movements.
Okay. Um, all right. So as you're like uh adjusting the final few straps, you hear your door open. And behind you is a um Aquinus person who you do not remember having as a servant before, but you do remember seeing them at the the council meeting just at a glance yesterday.
Good morning.
Hello. I don't think we've met.
Delphina.
Delphina, Natalia. Is there something in particular you need, or?
Um, to be honest, I wanted to meet you.
Well, you were at the council right?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And I was very impressed by your speaking.
Oh, well, it wasn't much. I could have done more, but did my best.
Well,
guess,
I'm just happy to know that, there's that not all rich people are assholes.
that is good. I can safely say I'm not an asshole, but I am happy I can help. They don't always get the struggle of things, and
Yeah.
well, I'm going to try and see to it that the relief will end up where it should be.
Thank you. If you need any help on the ground, I'm pretty respected in my town, and I'm known for helping the less fortunate. So you just seem like a good person to know, and perhaps we could help each other out in the future.
That's greatly appreciated. It's a difficult time at the moment. Everyone since the change has been vying for power. Well, in noble circles, that's a little difficult. But I appreciate any friend I can find.
Well, if there if there's any goals of yours that I can help with, let me know. I have a very special set of skills, and I would love to help you out.
Well,
also, I don't work here. I'm sorry.
I figured. It's not the right colors. My mother's very specific on that. But good disguise anyway.
Thank you.
If you need anything as well, I'd be happy to help. A friend on the inside is very nice. Currently, I'm trying to figure out a way to save this academy I went to when I was younger. I heard whispers.
Where is the academy? Is it in the city?
Yeah, it's Natalia kind of goes and pulls out one of her maps that she has of the location and just points out this school that's basically like in the middle to lower district that she went to. They were it's the Amarore Academy, and they were very big into making sure that the rebellion was supported wherever it was needed.
That's awesome. Who's trying to get rid of it?
That's where I've had some trouble, I guess. I tried to get a name, and well, I can never find it. Apparently, they're sending tax collectors to berate them until probably they sell, is my assumption. But they help so many kids. I had to sneak there when I was younger, but
why did you have to sneak?
They can help so many more.
Sorry, I know my video isn't working. Is my talking also not working?
It's
no,
working
your talking's
fine.
working.
Okay, great.
We just have a picture of your.
That picture is literally 7 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'll fix it when we take a break because that is probably soon.
Profile picture. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes. Well, that's me at like 20. Anyway, Natalia, sorry about that. I was distracted by nothing. I'm not breaking the fourth wall. However, sorry. So I'm sorry, I missed if you said that you know, like, if there's like a specific person or power who's trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, so Natalia doesn't know,
Okay.
but she's heard that it is a powerful noble. And when she's trying
Ooh.
to look into that information, everyone hushes about it. It's kind of done
Hmm.
under the table.
I could poke around the academy. I'm pretty good at getting. I also I have some contacts. I don't know if they would know about this. Do you know anything about what the powerful noble that I could use to
All
get more
I know
information?
is that they've hired people to uh, cause fear. Mainly a tax collector who, well, he does things by force, not by
Hmm.
persuasion.
What's his name?
Uh,
Feel free to make it up on the spot.
his name
It,
is
it,
Leo.
Okay. Would I have maybe heard of him? Like, do you think that I would know that there's like a dick tax collector going around bullying people?
if he's a big shot, then probably. Is probably the kind of character that like everybody knows what he does, but nobody can really prove it and turn him in.
Okay.
I'm slightly disappointed that his name is Leo.
Is that what's wrong with that name? Oh, right.
It's okay. We'll go with it.
um. So, yeah, I will do my best to look into that. Um, Leo does seem like a real tool. Um, but I know how to use
Well, it would be very helpful. And really, if there's something that you would need help with, please let me know. I'm just trying to make this city livable, and anyone
sorry.
that can help in that regard is a friend of mine.
Do you know do you know anything about I named this character. Who is he? What's his name? Adrian Urbicus. He's a very wealthy businessman, not a noble, but relatively powerful. Um, mostly in what do we call like the underwater part of the city?
Um, maybe the like Aquines district.
Yeah, mostly in the Equinese district. But he's quite wealthy, and if you have any information on him, that would be fantastic.
Uh, do I know anything in particular? Um, is there a role I could make?
Make a roll, make a roll. Sorry, I'm excited.
For
To know if I know of anything about this Adrian fellow.
ah um let's see. I think let me look at your skills real quick. And he's just a businessman. He's not like any sort of noble or anything.
He's a wealthy businessman, so I don't know what the like. I don't think he has like a noble title. But he's definitely a fancy person, I guess.
I mean, somebody with like if he's a wealthy businessman, do you think the council also has like non-nobles on it? Like he might be on the council.
Definitely benefactors. There's a lot of benefactors, probably for the city since all the rebellions have happened. So I'm sure there would be some non-nobles in the council. It's just whether they hold power, whether that is power through a title or power through money or power through intimidation.
Okay, so I definitely think this is a person who would hold power. and is probably on the council, which might complicate the the connection going on here. But that's interesting, so we'll go with it.
I believe he's on the council. Other than that, not much. He keeps to himself, but he does leverage his earnings to get business opportunities. I will say that.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted.
I imagine do you have any idea of like the personality of this Adrian, Freddie?
He sucks.
He sucks. Okay.
Um, I think he's probably like pretty pretentious and like very arrogant,
Okay.
and kind of thinks that like he can get away with anything.
Okay.
And I'm determined to make sure he can't.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. I just quickly rolled up some ideas about this character using your ideas as well.
Beautiful. Make up his secrets.
Add him to the list of NPCs. And all right, so both of you would know actually that this Adrian was originally a craftsman of sorts. What
Mhm.
craft? I don't know. We can decide that later on. But he leveraged like his ability to create beautiful things and his knowledge of the workings of money and just started like working his way up monetarily, and that's how he's gotten into this position of power. And I think Natalia would know that he's like very interested in the inner workings of like the nobles of the city for some reason. You don't know why, but he has this fixation on it.
I don't know that, but I find it interesting.
He's quite interesting, and he's a little too obsessed with the nobility and their ways. But I don't know anything more than that. But I can try at other meetings to gather more information in particular.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I just went ahead and rolled up stuff for him because it sounds like he's becoming not necessarily like a major villain, but like the closest thing that we have at the moment.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Natalia, it has been great to meet you, and I am excited to do some sleuthing on your behalf. How should I would prefer not to sneak into your house on a regular basis.
Yes. I'll notify some of the ones I trust to
Great.
see to it that that shouldn't be as big of a problem.
Okay. Or I can just like text you.
Oh.
Uh,
Yes.
Write
Do
letters,
we have
you know.
that? Oh, okay. I was like, wait. I don't remember this.
Sorry, I'm just
I
being
mean,
stupid.
I think maybe the Equinese have something like communication technology. It would make sense that they do, but I don't think that Natalia has communication technology of the Equinese. I don't know. Maybe your parents do because they're kind of the ones with the money.
Yeah, they might, but my access to that would not be easy.
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah. Just send a letter, show up, send a telegram.
Yeah, Natalia, also thanks for being super chill about, you know, me sneaking into your room.
You would be often surprised at how many people try.
Noted.
All right. All right. Well, are y'all feeling like you want to take a break, or do you want
Yes,
to keep going for a little
please.
bit? Okay.
I would like a break.
Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break real quick then,
Okay.
and we'll be back right after that with
Thank you.
Chaos and seeing what he's up to. All
Okay.
right. See y'all in a bit.
Okay.
welcome back, everybody. Uh, hope you all had a good break.
I
I
did.
think. All right. Um, so we might as well jump back into the RP. And go straight to Alkeos. Uh,
Right.
so after we last left Alkeos, he didn't quite get what he was looking for, but he got some sort of a resolution for at least one of his goals.
Yeah.
So uh, when we next find him, he's, I presume, working on the next goal, or is he doing it? How do we find him?
Sorry.
Hopefully better off than that. Uh,
Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, that looked like a near-death experience. Alkeos is going to work with his Aquinas librarian friend, or person he is going to make his friend, and work on his other goal. Yeah.
All right. Oh, right, because you're talking about the person that helped you find the schematics in the first place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Did you? I presume you want to like make uh them a like potentially a relationship down the line.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's figure something out about them real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch tabs real quick on you.
Sounds good.
If you scroll down to the bottom, um,
Okay.
under relationships, under circles, click add, and let's see. Said it was masculine person.
I believe that's what we had.
I don't recall myself, so I think that's right. All right. Let's see. All right. I think we'll go with I'll actually add them in to your sheet.
Okay.
So under circles, you now have Philetus, who is also a Hierophant.
Ooh.
And in this case, let's also so let's see. I'm going to make some notes on this person as well, since you want to make them at least semi-frequent contact. Oh, that's fun. All right. Sorry, and you said you were meeting with them
Yeah, just
or
to
him?
figure out our next steps, our approach.
Okay. So, with this grant, you also got a small team to work with, I believe.
Yeah, although I rolled
So,
very poorly, so I at the time I was joking, but also half serious that it was just the two of us.
okay. Um,
I'm fine with more though.
if you want one other person, then I can add in another NPC. We can figure them out later on. I think right
That's yeah,
now, just focusing on you and Philetus is fine.
that sounds good to me.
Okay. Uh, so the next step in this case, I think, would be finding the periphery devices that I mentioned before,
Yeah,
or at least finding like some sort of a schematic or a way to extrapolate how to create them from the plans that you have.
okay.
And I think I mentioned the um, actually the next step might be like trying to track down some of these um, components, like the actual materials that you need to make it.
Okay.
I'll let you decide, actually. Philetta
Oh
says
no.
that there's a few different ways we can go about this. We can either track down some of these materials that we don't have, and then try to construct the main unit, or we can work on trying to find the periphery unit and then build it all as one. Um, from the looks of this, both of you determine that you could uh, make a functioning device, but it would not have much impact if you just make the main unit. Like it would have an impact, but it would only impact a certain area. Uh, whereas if you have the periphery units, it kind of it expands the influence of the main unit.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely want to get the peripheries.
Okay. I'm just asking if you want to do that now or later.
Um, I mean, I guess if we build it, we can get it to the places that need it right now, and then worry about the peripheries.
Okay.
So I think unless Philetus suggested otherwise, that's what Alcaeus would suggest we do.
Okay. No, I don't think he has any objections.
All right. Let's build this thingamajigger.
All right, so the first thing would be like figuring out what components you actually need and the materials to make them. So, um, I did say it was written in ancient Aquinnese, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so between the two of you, you're able to decipher it relatively easily. There's a few words that maybe don't translate properly. And so you're a little stumped as to what those are referring to.
Okay.
So let's see. What I'm gonna look at your skills real quick.
Sure.
Okay, so I definitely think there's a third person involved here, because I don't think either of you have any like build it up skills. I think you're
Yeah.
both just knowledge types. So I think you actually have to have somebody who's a tinkerer of sorts.
Sounds like a wise idea.
Unless maybe Philetus is a tinkerer on the side, which is likely, I think.
Certainly could be.
We'll say for convenience right now, because I don't necessarily want to make up a third NPC right now, or yeah, a third NPC right now. He's a tinkerer of sorts, so he's not like fully dialed into the specifics of knowledge and books and whatnot, but he has a grasp of blueprints and methods of creation.
Excellent.
So I will roll for him then, real quick, just to see how well he can
Everybody cross your
decipher
fingers for him.
this. Yeah. It's okay, I'm rolling my new metal dice.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's nice and
lucky
shiny.
dice.
So did not roll well.
Oh,
Okay. So he can decipher some of the things, but it's mainly having to do with the actual methods of creation rather than the materials themselves. Once you end up finding the materials, he can create the components easily enough.
when you say the materials, do you mean what the materials would be made out of, or they're like missing steps in the production process?
There's like what the actual machine, like some of the actual physical aspects of the machine are made from specific things that you don't necessarily have a connection for with the words of this ancient language.
Okay.
Which I think maybe he finds a rough connection as this like partial success, but he's not certain of like the exact properties. So there's definitely uh, the involvement of some sort of power source, which is like this physical manifestation of magic. However, that works. He's
Okay.
not sure how. But with that power source, that's the main thing that is missing. There's some other things that are kind of odds and ends, but he can think of ways to get around that.
We need to consult with a wise magician.
Yes.
Would Alkeos perhaps be able to use faith magic to contact Una and maybe see if she would give them the answer, or point them in the direction of somebody who would know on a fail?
Sure. Let me pull up faith magic real quick. I definitely think that's one of the options, and even if it isn't, I'm going to make it one of the options.
Excellent.
Especially because Una is just who they are.
Yeah.
I think the specific rules are in the codex, actually. Let's see. Oh, or actually, it's in the rim of the wheel section. There it is. Okay. What is your faith?
6.
6. Okay. So normally guidance is obstacle 5. I don't think that's true for Una specifically. I think her guidance or their guidance is probably like a 3.
Okay.
But like they won't give you the full picture. They'll give you generally like a nudge in the right direction. Like go talk to this person about what you're looking for, or look in this area, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So like a definitive direction, but not like just the outright answer, because Una also, I think, values the acquisition of knowledge.
Sounds good.
And like yeah. So, all right. Let's go ahead and have you roll faith against obstacle 3. If you fail, I think if you fail, it's just more vague than we were anticipating.
Okay.
And because this is an attribute, you can't fork anything.
Okay. I failed.
Oh.
Only got 2.
Were any of those 6s?
No.
No.
4, a 5, and 4 2s.
All right. Do you want to spend a fate point to reroll one of those failed dice?
Yes, I think I would.
All right. So go ahead and mark on your faith attribute in the FPD, put a 1 in the F and mark off a fate point below that.
Okay.
And you may reroll any one of the failed dice.
Hey, a 5.
All right. That's exactly what you needed. So, you pray to Una and reach out, and they respond in kind to your prayer, reaching back out to you just as you're sitting here praying, whatever that looks like, and sort of as like a mental communication kind of thing. they tell you that you need to seek out, let's see, actually a location
Oh,
rather than a person.
okay.
Let's see what I can find out about this location. Okay, so there was actually a particularly bad geoshift a long time ago. Just not necessarily super close to the city, but definitely within a day or two's travel.
Okay.
And for some reason, Una is telling you that you need to look at that site and investigate there.
Okay.
It is a very, you would know that it's a very chaotic area. It's been getting better, but it's, it's still kind of healing, so to speak. And I just noticed we had 2 people switch places on the screen.
Oh, no.
Surprise, it's a magic trick. Mary had to BRB.
Oh, okay.
Magic trick, we swapped back.
All right. Cool.
Nova is the magician.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, that's the information you get.
Perfect.
So how do you want to continue from there?
I mean, if I know it's dangerous, I would suggest we prep to go. And if I don't think it's particularly dangerous in spite of its instability, I would suggest, there's no real reason for us to wait. We should just go.
I think it's definitely dangerous. I think because of the nature of it being as bad as it was, it's almost like a state of perpetual shifting.
Ooh.
So it's this almost like wild magic area, but like with the terrain itself.
Gotcha.
I want to go there.
So definitely probably seeking out a specialized explorer,
Yeah.
somebody who is good at navigating geoshifts, which is probably not a lot of people. Maybe somebody that's from the disaster response team.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. No, that
That
is
would make
definitely a
complete sense.
smart place to look.
Yeah. And I think definitely with your connection with them, you like that thought immediately comes to mind. Like, okay, well, if we're going there, I should look for help here.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Sorry, I am bad at remembering things. Is the library that Alkeos has been researching at, is that the same as the academy Natalia is trying to save?
No, it is not.
Okay.
The
Does it have to not be,
li-
or is it just that we hadn't stated that.
The library itself that he's been researching at is actually like the Temple of Una.
Oh, sure. Got it.
Yeah. So because of that, I think it enjoys like certain protections from like people that would try to extort them. Specifically, protection from protection by Una.
Seems legit.
Yeah. So just for that reason, I don't think they're the same place.
Okay, cool. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
See,
And
it's a good thing to know for certain.
yeah. I think at that point we may want to shift focus back over to Delphina and
Sounds good.
see what she's up to.
Okie dokie.
I'm looking forward to finding out who she's going to poison.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I know that I've got a couple. I've got a couple different threads of investigation. I think I'm gonna start with going to the academy and maybe trying to I think I'm going to start by trying to track down that tax collector, Leo.
Okay. All right. And Mary's not here for me to ask questions about Leo, but I'm assuming that Leo's like some kind of a big shot.
Or I can go and investigate Adrian some more.
Actually, what notes did I have? Oh, actually, Leo is probably not the big shot. I think he's the one working for Adrian. Was that right? Or
well, we don't know technically if so. Leo is working for whoever
right, Adrian's
is
from your backstory, and
yes.
Leo's from okay.
Yeah, Leo's working for mystery villain that I'm trying to find the identity of. Don't know if that is the same as my personal villain.
It might be.
Only time will tell. And you, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
So, do we want to give Leo a little bit more, or should I give Leo a little bit more backstory, real quick? Not necessarily out.
I'll go. I'll go in the other thread. Just so I would like to like let Mary be a little more involved in that.
Okay.
So I will do some. So I want to. I think I want to activate the Whisper Network, to kind of get some updates.
Okay.
And like
so,
really fast version of backstory, I guess, for this. The reason that I am investigating this guy. So I had a client who was pregnant by this by her husband, who is this businessman Adrian, and she was running from him because she thought that he was going to hurt her and the baby. And so, and she asked for help to, her name is Letitia, and she asked for help getting the baby and herself to safety. And I am like and I am well connected with like other midwives, etc., and like doulas and stuff in other towns. And so we were able to like place her son with someone in another town, and I was still treating her. There were complications from the birth, so I was still seeing to her, and she was gonna like go join when she was ready, able to travel, but she mysteriously disappeared.
So
So, yeah.
you're looking for her,
I am looking for
and
her.
you think that Adrian has something to do with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess my moves are like I want to like check in with my contacts and see if like there's any updates on any other fronts, if anyone has heard anything, because this would be like something that they know is going on since like they were involved in the first place. And then I guess I would want to like look for an informant or maybe see if I can intimidate, kidnap one of his staff
Okay.
or him, but thinking
Um,
realistically.
yeah. Okay, so let's have you. Well, let's see. You have. I'm gonna change the tab on your character sheet real quick. So you have the affiliation with the Whisper Network.
Yes, I do.
You don't necessarily need to roll circles to contact them. However, I think rolling circles in this case will help us
See if they know
determine
like how much they know.
exactly.
Cool. Does rolling circles just mean I roll the 2 dice?
Well, because you have the affiliation and you're using that, it would be 4 dice.
Okay.
Because it's 2 die affiliation with the Whisper Network. Did you have an idea of what your reputation should be?
What does that mean? Sorry, like what was the question?
I don't think we actually flavored your 1 die reputation yet.
Oh, I think we talked about it as just like she gets things done. Like if you are pregnant and in need, that's who you should go to.
Oh, right. So I think it was like dependable midwife.
Yeah, yes. I think we decided it was like dependable midwife, and then like within that, some people might also know like dependable criminal related to that. But that's more secret, so probably less people know because that's
we can kind of
it's like it's known that
I don't know how
I
you would
have
fold
very
those
satisfied
together.
clients.
Okay. I think for the broad sense, we're just gonna put dependable midwife.
Perfect.
And then depending on certain things, we'll determine if they know about the shadier parts or not.
Yes. Because I would imagine I try to keep relatively quiet. So the murder.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
I mean, as you do.
What's my obstacle?
Let's say, because we're kind of just using this to understand information, let's say it's a graduated test instead, which means the obstacle's 1, and the more successes you get sort of determine what the outcome is.
All right, I got 2.
2. Okay, so I think there's a little bit of an update. Also go ahead and mark a routine test for circles. I think there's a little bit of an update in that you said Letitia's son is in another city, right?
Yes. Yeah, being taken care of, I would say by another like doula or midwife or parent who is fostering.
I think there's been some suspicious activity around her son. He's not been abducted or anything, but there's something going on there.
Okay. Like maybe people are poking around the foster home, asking questions.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe like one of the servants noticed, or one of the helpers for um the like that particular home noticed maybe somebody like watching it from afar, but they
Mm.
couldn't like necessarily see who it was or
Oh
get a
shit.
good description of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So something like that, where it's just
Yeah.
really,
Okay.
really shady. It's obviously shady, but um, no definitive information.
Okay, then I think my move is definitely going to be to like kind of try to track down a crony and
Okay, so
intimidate them.
so I think we'll have you roll circles to find this crony.
Okay. What
But
do I
this is
get?
going to be a different test.
Yes.
So this will be, let's see. Circles is here, circles, obstacles. So I think you're looking for okay, so you're looking for basically a henchman
Mm-hmm.
of
Adrian.
Adrian. Specifically one who would know what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, this is part of how we set the obstacle for circles. So um, if you succeed, it's not about whether this person has the knowledge or not. There's actually an adjustment for the obstacle based on whether they have the specific knowledge you're looking for.
Okay.
Which in this case, I think it's +1, unless you want to leave it to chance as to whether they have the knowledge or not.
I would like to leave it to chance.
Okay.
And then
Then
would I be able to use the Whisper network as added to that since they like I got the information from them or no?
Yeah, and I think even though this is like some slightly different information, I think you would definitely be able to use your contacts in the Whisper network to like track down one of these people.
Cool.
So I think this is going to be obstacle 3
Okay.
because this is being
Ooh.
one of these henchmen is not a common thing. Let me see. What did you roll?
Failed.
Ooh. So you can spend a fate point and try and re-roll it. Re-roll
Okay.
one of the dice.
What would be the failures? I just don't find anyone.
Well, since we were leaving it up to chance, I think you find someone, but they don't have specific information. They have some information, but they don't have exactly the information you were looking for.
I want to go forward with the failure and see what information they do have.
Okay.
So where do I find this person?
I think you find them like in one of the seedier parts of towns, maybe like some sort of a gambling den.
Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah. So I think you like walk in and then there's this like you're immediately kind of out of place. And then there's this like smell of smoke and alcohol and just people at different tables around the room, all with cards or dice or some other form of gambling.
Okay.
Um,
I'll sit down at whatever table he's at. Or I guess I'll get a drink and then
Okay. Direct approach.
I mean,
Yeah. So you go.
if he was in an alleyway or something, I would be more stealthy about it, and or rather more violent about it. But
Yeah.
I'm not pulling my knife in the gambling hall.
Yeah. So you get a drink and you sit down, and immediately like everybody that's at that table, like you were already like drawing glances because you do not look like you belong in this
Okay.
sort of a place. I don't think. I don't know. Do you?
I mean, I
Do
don't
you think
know.
you're out of your element a little bit here?
Um,
Like not
I was,
necessarily that you can't handle yourself, but like not necessarily looking like you would be the type of person that hangs out here.
yeah, like I think probably not like super out of place, but definitely in maybe a little unusual. Oh my God,
Okay.
Nova. Nova says that I'm a fish out of water.
That's
How dare you?
thank you, Nova.
Nominate that for the next episode title.
All right. Yeah, so
I'll take a seat. I'll take a seat at his table.
yeah, so you take a seat at his table, and I think like they look at you kind of weird, but they just sort of, I think they're playing cards. I think they just sort of deal you in anyway. They don't really say
Okay.
anything. Um, how far are you going with the gambling part of this?
I am going to try to.
Are you like gonna like play the game and like talk to him sort of discreetly a little bit during the course of it, or are you going to just like dispose of all pretenses, be like, look, I'm here for information?
Um, neither. I am going to. I am going to try to lose badly to him specifically.
Oh, I see. But not like specifically to losing to him, but not anybody else.
I mean, I don't really know how whatever game we're playing works, but
It doesn't necessarily matter. But
I would
you're like
like
trying
to
to draw his
be.
attention.
I want to be in debt to him.
Oh, okay. Um,
I was trying to decide if I wanted to try to lose to him or win or beat him, but I don't think I can beat him because I don't have any skills that would help me do that. But I think I can lose,
there's specifically gambling skills,
which
and
I
you have
don't
none of
have.
them.
I think that I will.
Um, I think losing is pretty easy. Um,
And also like I imagine that there's probably mostly men in here.
yeah, probably.
Um, and I'm definitely working the goods a little bit.
Okay.
Just trying to draw attention.
Because you don't have the skill, I don't know that you can fork seduction, but
No, I don't. Yeah, that's sort of like separate. Like I'm just like I'm also
yeah,
doing that.
okay. Um, I think uh, I think I'm just gonna have you make a straight perception roll against an obstacle of 2 because it's gonna be the obstacle's technically 1, but whenever you're rolling a stat, specifically, there's a double obstacle penalty, which makes it 2 instead. Yeah, you successfully lose to specifically him and are indebted.
Cool. Oh, sorry. Quick, totally unrelated question. If I failed the circles test before, do I still advance it on my sheet?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, so oh fuck. I have run out of money.
So I think in this case, because this is kind of what you're going for, I think you lose the cash die, at least temporarily.
Okay, sure.
Is that acceptable for like what you're kind of trying to go for?
Absolutely. I am saying to him, I
Okay.
can't pay up. I'm out of money. I'm out of cash.
Oh, okay. So you're okay, so you don't lose the cash die. You're just like specifically fainting that you don't have money.
Yeah.
Okay, then no, yeah, put your cash die back. I thought you
Okay,
were
yeah.
like,
I can worry.
okay.
I'm fine with either losing it or not losing it, but the more important part is what I'm saying to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So saying specifically to him that you can't pay, especially after like, hold on. Let me look at something in our lines and veils.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So I don't think this crosses any lines or veils. I think basically what he's going to try and get you to do is get you alone, which is probably what you want anyway.
Oh no, that's not what I was trying to do at all.
Yeah, so I imagine they have like some really seedy small back rooms at this place for various uses. Maybe not necessarily exactly this, but yeah, so you have him alone. What do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm sure that I have something valuable, torn it up, and kind of back him into a wall, and then pull my knife to his throat.
Yes. All right. Uh all right. He's like he was
Oh, I hope he's not into it.
no, he was into it and then he's distinctly not now.
That's good.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah, what does he say? How does he react?
He says, what the fuck are you doing?
I just have a few questions for you, and then I'd be happy to pay my debt.
What questions?
Do you work for Adrian Urbicus?
Maybe.
I dig the knife in a little.
He says, ow, ow, ow. Yes, I do.
Damn, this guy's a coward. Sorry. I'm like, what? He's not gonna fight back. It's one person. Whatever.
I mean, you have a knife to his throat.
Yeah, true, but you know, it's not a good knife.
He doesn't know that.
I'm just like, ugh, man. Any trace of you being hot, that's gone. You're just gonna let me. Exactly. I would never hire someone like this. Or, So, and exactly what services does he employ of yours?
Um, I think he says like some general stuff, just trying to get away from it, but you like sense obviously that he's not telling the whole truth. He says
Mhm.
like I collect the money and I'm a bodyguard.
Wow,
He like
you're
he's
not
just
good at that.
obviously yeah. Yeah.
I do say that. You're probably
He
a
says,
terrible bodyguard.
listen, what else do you want? I just want to go on about my day.
Who do you collect money from? For what?
Uh, he lists off like the names of a few businesses, like
Okay,
protection money, more or less.
sure. When was the last time you saw Adrian's wife?
It's been a long time.
Think you can be more specific, sir.
She disappeared, didn't she?
Yes. That's what I hear.
I haven't seen her.
Since when? I said, when was the last time that you saw her?
Since before she disappeared.
Jesus Christ.
I don't actually know like a time frame, so I'm just
That's fine.
trying to.
Uh,
That's pretty much what you're getting from him is like,
was it
you at
before?
least, um, you at
What
least understand like he doesn't seem to know her
what has happened?
whereabouts.
Was she pregnant the last time that you saw her?
Um, she was pregnant when y'all like spirited her away, right?
Um, yes. Yeah. And then she gave birth and then she disappeared.
Yes. So he would say yes. She was.
Okay. What mm, where can how can I find Adrian himself?
Adrian does not like to be found. Uh, I don't have any direct contact with him, but I can tell you where to find somebody who does, as long
Okay.
as you don't hurt me.
I like pull the knife away a little, but I'm still like kind of holding like my body very close to him, and I'm like, all right.
All right. He just like starts spilling the beans and telling you about like the some basic information about the hierarchy that he works for.
Sure.
Uh, you were already convinced that like Adrian was a shady person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that becoming just
Um,
even just abundantly clear that it's true?
yes. So definitely like extorting a few local businesses, as you understood from what this guy was saying, collecting protection money.
What's the cat
Um,
toss count? Like 10.
um,
Yeah. Okay. Extorting local businesses.
um, there was a little bit of, not a lot, but like a little bit of dealing with drugs somewhere in the line there. This guy specifically works in the vein of people that is doing the extortion.
Gotcha. Okay.
However, he is a small fry. That is part of the effect of the failure of your circles roll. Is that he doesn't know much.
That seems legit.
Um, but the next person that you would need to talk to is like his supervisor,
Right.
quote unquote supervisor. Let me talk to your manager.
Yeah. Let me threaten your manager.
Yeah. Um.
And to play nice, I will indeed give him the money that I owe him. So I will lose. I will lose that cash.
Okay.
And I'll say we
Um,
had just a lovely time back here, didn't we?
Wonderful.
Thank you. Great meeting you.
Yes. I wish to never see you again.
Yeah, that's what I usually go for. I don't give him that though. I do stay in the bar, not hanging out at his table anymore, but I just like have a good night.
Okay. All right. Um. Okay, I see. Mary's getting ready to rejoin us.
Yep, I think I got everything hooked up, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, there you are.
Amazing.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Sorry about that, but back now.
All right.
No apologies.
Yeah. Um. All right. Well, that is a good chance to
Perfect.
see what you want to work on. I don't think we've actually
Um,
gotten to any of your goals in particular this session.
well, I'm kind of thinking maybe not necessarily going for a goal, but possibly trying to do a relationship type thing. Um,
Okay.
for Natalia always goes to the training yard to clear her head. And I think that there would be she's had trainers since she was young, but the trainer's son is one of her best friends, one of her confidants. And so she goes out there to kind of just clear her head and talk to someone that gets the insanity that is nobility. Although he's
All
lesser
right.
noble than her, which complicates things.
All right. Do you have a name for this person?
Theo.
Theo. Got Leo and Theo.
I'm trying. I'm running out of Greek names off the top of my head.
It's okay. Um, if you want me to generate some names, I can do that as well. I was just wondering if you had anything in mind in particular.
I don't have anything off the top of my head, so if you have an idea, I'm up for anything.
Okay.
Oh, and let me get web captioner back on.
Um,
There we go.
yeah, that will help. Um, let's see. Actually, Theo's fine for the moment. So we'll just make a note of him. Probably short for like a longer name,
Yeah.
but he just goes by Theo.
Mhm.
So, you said he's the like combat instructor person.
Yeah, it's his son. I trained under his father, and then he's basically taken over because I have a lot of younger siblings, younger brothers, and so he's often around the house somewhere where I can usually find him to spar with because he's the only one that really doesn't hold their punches around me.
Hmm.
Nice.
Okay, and you're basically just looking to uh talk to him and blow off some steam, I guess.
Yeah, just do some sparring and just to figure out what my next move is. Usually that's what, especially after the incident with my mother at the council, she kind
Hmm.
of just needs to talk it over with somebody.
Okay. So, how do you want to go about this? I
Well,
think you
after
find
probably
him
talking with
outside.
Fiend, uh, I probably would finish getting my gear ready to go, and will get my training swords out and head out to the battlefield.
Hell yeah.
All right. Um,
But usually he's training my brothers somewhere, giving them a hard time. So I'll just go out uh to the normal area.
okay. Let's find out if he's with your brothers. Do you have information on your brothers? Because if not, then I'm just gonna uh leave them out of the equation for the moment, and we can
I mean,
figure them out later.
nothing too major. They're just anywhere from 6 to 12. And
Ah,
there's
okay.
about
So,
4 brothers. She's in a very big family.
oh, I see. Okay. Then in this case, let's see. They are there, and when you like go to talk to Theo, I think they like use that as a chance to slip away and go do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's usually how I get them out of a little bit of practice. It's a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah, so like once he's distracted, they like kind of toss their gear off and sneak away into the hedges or something and go play somewhere. Um, all right, so let's see. Theo would say, "Ah, Natalia, uh, what is it you wanted?"
Just it's been a rough few days, and with all the council stuff, I just needed some normalcy at the moment.
Mm.
If it's okay, just some sparring, and please don't pull punches. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I can help you out with that as soon as I'm done with. And then he like turns around and sees like the sparring equipment on the ground. And he's like, I guess I can help you out right now.
All right, they do seem to scurry off at any chance they get. Um,
Yes, they
uh,
do.
but she'll get out her normal gear and
Sparring gear or normal like
sparring
sword, like
gear.
actual
She's
sword.
not gonna
Okay.
pull any weapons or anything at this point.
Okay. Um, okay. What's your in or do you actually want to roll swords?
Um,
Or do you have a intent here?
probably a
If you
little bit
do
of just
roll,
training with the sword. Theo knows when I try to do magic, and so I kind of have to. He forces me to have to use my actual sword skill. Uh,
I see.
Mm. That's fun.
but yeah, I think just basically she would train a little bit and then start running ideas of how to sway the mortals, or not mortals. My brain.
I mean,
The
partially correct.
council members. My brain is
Too many
mush today. I'm
models.
sorry, peoples.
Um, okay, so I think think he's probably a lot better with his sword than you are.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I use magic to bullshit it. So,
Yeah,
uh,
pretty pretty much. And if he's going like the no magic rule, then you've got what, two to work with?
I got 2 little dice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. I got 1 success.
Oh, were you gonna fork anything?
I just did straight sword.
Just straight sword. Okay, so you like really want to get like the hardest. You want to go ahead and get a challenging
Yeah.
roll out of the way, pretty much. Okay. Um, so I think he's probably like this. Yeah. So you got 1 success, you said?
I got 1.
1. Okay.
Hey, for 2 dice,
You
that's
got,
pretty good.
yeah, it is statistically average, actually. So he gets 3 successes. Uh, so like just you tell him not to pull any punches, and he takes you at your word. He does not pull a single punch. Um,
Shit.
I think you end up like a little bruised at the end of the day. Nothing like major, obviously, because it's just training. But like you're definitely sore by the end of it. Um, and yeah, that's definitely a challenging test that you can mark for sword.
Cool. And then I
In
guess
which,
as we're just going through the motions, she'll probably be just say, all right, so the council is doing their best to try and stop the initiative to try and help the lower districts. I they've I've gotten them to kind of at least go with the guise of doing it, but now I need to force them to actually get it done. You know how they get.
yes, it did seem like some of the council members were interested in the thought, but I'm not sure how well they actually know of practical implementation in this case. And I'm sure their minds will be swayed by the less altruistic of the council.
Yes, I just need to figure out how to whether they are actually persuadable or if I need other means. I might need to do some digging to figure out some information I can at least use to aid the situation. But
Well,
other than that, any ideas?
if you want my opinion, I think your main goal should be setting the expectations for the altruistic council members, the ones who actually wish to help, making sure they know what they're getting into with this. And in the long term, staving off the advances, for lack of a better word, of those of the other political party who would rather see the uh, regime put back in place. And he like glances up to uh, one of the windows on the manor that you immediately know is like your mother's window.
Yes.
So, basically, what he's saying is make sure that the people that you're allied with are equipped to deal with the people you're not allied with. Is kind of what he's getting at, like quote
Makes
unquote
sense.
equipped. Uh,
Well, I guess uh, it's getting late, and well, I should track down my brothers. I'm sorry I inconvenienced anything, but I appreciate it.
Not at all. I always look forward to the chance to spar with you and potentially teach you a lesson about swords rather than using that wizardry you do.
I definitely rely on it a bit too much, but I appreciate it. She'll kind of give a nod and just normal farewells and kind of go back and start thinking of like the potential list of nobles uh to who might be more altruistic and who will also have the means to handle things.
All right. Um, so I think that is probably the end of that scene. How are y'all feeling? Do you want to go ahead and conclude this evening, or do you want to go on a little bit further?
I think conclude personally, but it's up to
Okay.
since I know it takes a hot minute to just do the things.
It does. So in that case, we'll go ahead and start reviewing beliefs, instincts, and traits. And then we'll do our outros and whatnot, as we forgot to do last time. New to this.
Should I go first?
Sure.
Okie smoky.
Go ahead and click over to, yeah, there you go.
Okay. I met Natalia, and I was successfully deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
What do I click?
You get a persona point for that one, for meeting up with Natalia and like making yourself known as an ally to her, I think, is what your intention was there.
Yes, and then I like the role was for my disguising.
Mm-hmm.
I made some poison, but it was really
Yes,
easy.
you did. You get a persona for that.
And I definitely started my investigation of Adrian.
Yeah, I think you get a fate point for starting to investigate Adrian, but that will be that will carry over into the next session for sure.
Cool.
All right. With your beliefs slash goals out of the way, did any of your instincts hinder your character or take the story in an interesting direction?
I think the first one could have, but like it ended up. I feel like since I ended up succeeding in that, like
Yeah.
either of the things could have gone really badly, where I just like walked into Natalia's house or just like walked into the gambling hall, but they both went well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Did any of your traits do anything similar? Like, did you RP them in a particular way, or did they like take the story in an interesting direction?
I mean, I feel like I was particularly cocky, which got me. So I really enjoyed. I feel like I was very successful in that last scene. I didn't like make a single roll in that interaction.
Yeah.
So it was definitely the cockiness.
Well, you rolled for circles beforehand,
Yes,
so that was kind of the determining thing.
yeah.
I wasn't gonna make you roll a bunch of times just for the same thing. Is a little redundant.
Yes.
So yeah, you definitely get a fate point for cocky. I don't know about any of the others. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
it's
think so.
definitely, yeah. I think you get ultimately 2 fate points and 2 persona points. And then you'll
Okay,
have to change your first and second goals.
sounds good to me.
All right. Benjamin, take a look at
Yes.
Archaeos.
Yeah. Okay. As far as the goals are concerned, I suppose finding that location is going to help us figure out how to materialize magic, maybe. So definitely worked on
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, you get a fate point for the first one, tracking down elements of their design.
So one fate, and then
Um,
I did talk with the Carpenters Guild Master,
mhm.
and I mean, I did what I came to do there, even if
You
she.
did. You definitely get a fate point for that, even if it's more of like a long-term accomplishment,
Yeah.
rather than like an immediate thing. You still definitely get a persona point, rather. What about your instincts?
I mean, don't think I needed to use them this time. Didn't really get into any trouble with them.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think so. Then for your traits, which ones do you think you RP'd?
I mean, I definitely used favors the new order to try and convince the guild master that
Mm-hmm.
the way things are going is a good thing and that's what we want, and that she should sort of be on that side and act as though it's already happened because it's happening.
Absolutely. So you get a fate point for that.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not sure I used any of the others really. So far, people have, or this session, people weren't particularly resistant to my ideas so much as they
yeah,
were resistant to the logistics. So
yeah.
rabble
I
rouser is
definitely, yeah, I definitely think like your curiosity, like curious as a cat, will come up when you like go out to this uh perpetual geoshift area.
yeah,
Uh, definitely a place where that could happen.
yeah.
So yeah, so for this session, 2 fate points and 1 persona point.
Okay.
And Mary,
All
let's
right.
look at your
So
goals.
as far as goals are concerned, I started about two of them. I started getting the word out about the Amare Academy being hounded for taxes. But I haven't really finished that one yet. And then I also started figuring out a plan to help make the nobles follow through. As far as instincts, uh, I haven't really stuck my nose into somewhere it shouldn't be. Neither have I really, not necessarily stuck up for what is right in the situation that I think the instinct was written for. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as far uh, as far as that's concerned, um, trait wise, I don't think I got much done on that either. But I did make some towards those two goals.
All right. Yeah, I think you get 2 fate points from goals. I could argue for maybe like glory and excellence, since you're like so worried about getting everything done perfectly with the council.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I think
that
that
you
would
just
make
needed
sense.
to like,
Just trying to
yeah,
make sure I'm doing the right thing and do it to the
yeah,
best of my
pretty
ability.
much. Since
Makes
you were
sense.
like especially needing to unload with Theo there and just kind of process your thoughts. Yeah, I think I can give you a fate point for that one as well. So 3 fate
Cool.
points.
Awesome. I'll add it to the sheet.
All right. All right. So I think with that, we are done with this session for today. Um, once again, I'm Vallejo. I use he, him pronouns. If you want to find me on the internet, you can maybe find me on Twitter. Probably not at Vallejo Suforo. Most likely, it is easiest to find me on the Heroes Without Limits Discord, though.
Katie.
I'm Freddie May. If you want to find me on the internet, don't. Yeah, I'm on the Discord too, I guess.
I'm
Yeah, I don't engage with
Benjamin.
Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Uh,
Kat.
no, I'm Benjamin. If you would like to track me down, you are welcome to, and you can do so on Twitter at Benjamin Babbles.
And I'm Mary Kate Mead. You can find me on Twitter at nerdonwheels15. I'm also on the GM tables Tuesday night at 8 EST show of Tales from 2000, which is basically if you, Buffy meets Scooby Doo. And then on Saturdays for Heroic Journeys, which is our version of a fantasy RPG using our homebrew Year Zero new book coming out. So you can find me on Twitter and on that channel in particular.
Amazing.
All right. Awesome. Well, it was good playing with all of you.
Yeah.
And I will see all of you next week.
Next Friday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.